There's a place on Earth where it snows, where ancient rivers carved canyons deeper than the Grand Canyon, where entire civilizations thrived and drowned. The Sahara Desert, 3.6 million square miles of the most inhospitable terrain on the planet. Hot enough to kill you in hours, dry enough that some regions haven't seen rain in decades. But here's what they don't tell you. The Sahara is young, impossibly young. Just 5,000 years ago, it was a savanna, lush, green, teeming with life. Lake Chad was larger than the Caspian Sea. Hippos swam where sand dunes now tower 600 feet high. The Sahara isn't eternal. It's a geological blink, a cosmic accident. And beneath those endless dunes lie secrets that challenge everything we think we know about climate, civilization, and the fragility of our world. This is the Sahara you've never imagined. Welcome to the myths of Earth's greatest desert. When you picture the Sahara, you see endless sand, scorching heat, death. But that's only one face of the desert, and arguably the least interesting one. The Sahara has been an ocean floor, a rainforest, a savanna dotted with lakes the size of European countries. It's been home to crocodiles, elephants, giraffes, and civilizations sophisticated enough to create art that still moves us 8,000 years later. Today, we're exploring 10 myths about the Sahara, stories that range from demonstrably false to tantalizingly unproven to scientifically validated truths that sound like fantasy. From lost oases that appear and vanish to the mystery of why the desert greens and dies in 20,000-year cycles, to the cosmic forces that transformed paradise into the world's harshest wilderness, these myths reveal a desert that's less a static wasteland and more a living, breathing system in constant transformation. The Sahara doesn't just challenge life, it challenges our understanding of what's permanent and what's just waiting to change again. Myth: the Sahara is eternal. Myth: the Sahara has always been a desert and always will be. Reality: the Sahara is in its teenage years. It's one of Earth's youngest major deserts, and it's just getting started. 10,000 years ago, the Sahara didn't exist as we know it. In its place was the Green Sahara, or African Humid period, a landscape of grasslands, lakes, and rivers that supported megafauna and thriving human populations. Rock art from the Tassili Niger Plateau in Algeria shows people swimming, hippos wallowing, and giraffes grazing. These aren't symbolic or mythological images, they're documentary evidence. The artists were painting what they saw every day. What happened? The African monsoon shifted. Tiny changes in Earth's orbital tilt, Milankovitch cycles, altered how solar radiation hit the continent. The rains stopped. Within just dozens of centuries, lakes evaporated, rivers dried up, and vegetation died. The Sahara transformed from Eden to wasteland in what amounts to geological instant. Here's the unsettling truth. It's going to happen again. The Sahara operates on a roughly 20,000-year green desert cycle driven by Earth's orbital precession. In about 15,000 years, the rains will return, the desert will bloom, and our descendants might swim in Saharan lakes while looking at our era's archaeological evidence of a great desert their ancestors told stories about. The Sahara teaches us that permanent is a human concept. On planetary scales, everything is temporary. Even wastelands are just waiting. Sahara Desert. Myth number 2. The desert is lifeless. Myth. Nothing can survive in the Sahara. It's a dead zone. Reality. The Sahara hosts over 2,800 species, and some of them are biological impossibilities. The desert jerboa can survive its entire life without drinking a single drop of water. It extracts all moisture from seeds, and its kidneys are so efficient they produce urine more concentrated than seawater. The silver ant, Cataglyphus bombicina, can withstand surface temperatures of 158 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to cook an egg. It sprints across scorching sand at speeds that would proportionally outpace a cheetah, grabbing dead insects that have been literally cooked by the heat. Deathstalker scorpions glow under UV light, a trait scientists still don't fully understand. Some theories suggest it helps them hunt. Others say it might be protection against UV radiation. The mystery remains. But here's where it gets truly strange. The Sahara has fish. Blind catfish living in underground aquifers, ancient water systems trapped beneath the sand. These fish have been isolated for potentially millions of years, evolving in permanent darkness in water that predates the desert itself. The myth of a lifeless desert misses the point. The Sahara doesn't prevent life, it forces life to become extraordinary. Every organism there represents an evolutionary masterpiece, a solution to problems that should be unsolvable. And it raises a cosmic question. If life finds a way here, in one of Earth's harshest environments, where else might it be hiding? What other dead places in the universe are actually teeming with impossible life? Now let's jump into myth number 3. The Richat structure is Atlantis. Myth. The Eye of the Sahara, the Richat structure, is the lost city of Atlantis. Reality. It's not Atlantis, but what it actually is might be more fascinating. From space, the Richat structure looks like a giant bullseye in the Mauritanian desert, concentric circles spanning 30 miles across. It's so perfectly circular, so geometrically precise that it seems artificial. Ancient city? Landing site? Something else? Internet theories exploded. This must be Atlantis, the legendary civilization Plato described. The concentric rings match perfectly. There's just one problem. The Richat structure is 100 miles inland and has been above sea level for millions of years. Atlantis, according to Plato, was an island that sank into the ocean. The geology doesn't remotely work. So what is it? The consensus is a geological formation called a dome structure, layers of rock that were pushed up and then eroded over millions of years, revealing the concentric rings. It's entirely natural. But here's what's genuinely interesting. The Richat structure demonstrates how our pattern-seeking brains desperately want to find meaning in nature. We see circles and we think intelligence. We see symmetry and we think design. This cognitive bias is probably why we've spent millennia seeing gods in thunder, dragons in fossils, and faces on Mars. It's also probably why we'll recognize genuine alien artifacts if we ever encounter them. Our brains are hardwired to spot patterns that suggest intelligence. The Richat structure isn't Atlantis, but it's a perfect demonstration of how easily nature can create evidence of civilizations that never existed, and how carefully we need to examine our assumptions when searching for real lost civilizations, or real alien ones. Myth number 4. It never rains in the Sahara. Myth. The Sahara is bone dry. Rain never falls. Reality: when it rains in the Sahara, it rains catastrophically. Some parts of the Sahara receive less than an inch of rain per year. Some regions haven't seen rain in decades. The Atacama Desert in Chile once went 173 months without measurable precipitation. But when rain comes to the Sahara, it doesn't sprinkle, it floods. The desert ground is so compacted and dry that it can't absorb water. Rain doesn't soak in, it runs off. Within minutes, dry wadis, ancient riverbeds, become raging torrents. Flash floods can sweep away everything in their path: vehicles, animals, entire encampments. In 2022, parts of the Sahara received more rain in 24 hours than they typically see in a year. Satellite images showed temporary lakes forming in regions that are usually dust bowls. Seeds that had been dormant for years suddenly sprouted. The desert briefly bloomed. But here's the truly strange part. Recent studies suggest Saharan dust might influence rainfall in the Amazon. Dust storms carry phosphorus, a crucial nutrient, across the Atlantic Ocean, fertilizing rainforest growth. The Sahara's droughts might literally feed the Amazon's abundance. The deserts and rainforests of Earth aren't separate systems. They're connected in ways we're only beginning to understand. What happens in the Sahara affects global climate patterns, ocean chemistry, and ecosystems on other continents. It's a reminder that Earth is one integrated system. There's no such thing as a truly isolated ecosystem. Everything touches everything else. Myth number 5. The Sahara is all sand. Myth: the Sahara is nothing but endless sand dunes. Reality: only 25% of the Sahara is sand. The rest is stranger. Most of the Sahara is hamada, vast plateaus of rock where wind has stripped away all sand, leaving exposed bedrock stretching to the horizon. It's moonscape terrain, more alien than any sand dune. Then there's reg, gravel plains covered in stones where nothing grows and nothing moves except wind. These regions are so flat and featureless that travelers have walked in circles for days, unable to establish direction. The Sahara contains mountain ranges taller than anything in Texas. The Tibesti Mountains include volcanic peaks over 11,000 feet high. Some of these volcanoes might not be extinct, just sleeping. And then there are the ergs, the iconic sand dunes. But even these aren't what you think. Some Saharan dunes reach over 600 feet high and sing when the wind blows across them at the right angle, a deep rumbling boom that can be heard for miles. Scientists still debate exactly why this happens. The singing sands phenomenon isn't unique to the Sahara, but here it reaches maximum eeriness. Ancient travelers spoke of spirit voices in the desert. Modern science says it's resonance frequencies in the sand grains. Both explanations make the experience no less unsettling. The myth of endless sand misses the extraordinary diversity of the world's largest hot desert. The Sahara isn't one environment. It's dozens, each with unique geology, climate, and challenges. Sahara Desert myth number 6. Desert mirages are optical illusions. Myth: mirages are hallucinations, your brain making up water that isn't there. Reality: mirages are real optical phenomena based on actual physics. What you're seeing exists. It's just not where you think it is. When the ground heats up intensely, it creates a temperature gradient in the air. Hot air near the surface bends light rays from the sky, creating a reflection effect. What looks like water is actually an image of the sky reflected on superheated air. You're not hallucinating, you're seeing light that's being bent by temperature differences. The phenomenon is completely real and can even be photographed. But here's where it gets philosophically interesting. Superior mirages can make things appear that are actually below the horizon. Ships at sea appear to float in the air. Cities appear in the sky. Medieval travelers reported castles hovering above the desert. Not hallucinations, but distant settlements rendered visible by atmospheric refraction. In the Sahara, Fata Morgana mirages can be so complex they create layered, distorted images of distant landscapes, castles, forests, lakes, all shimmering and morphing at the horizon. These are probably the source of many legends about magical cities and enchanted oases. The physics of mirages reminds us that seeing isn't always believing, and that the line between real and illusion is more blurred than we'd like to think. Light bends, atmospheres refract. What we perceive isn't always where we think it is. It's a humbling lesson for anyone searching for truth. Sometimes the data is real, but you're interpreting it wrong. The signal exists. You're just looking at a reflection. Now we dive into myth number 7. The Sahara was always in Africa. Myth. The Sahara has always been part of Africa in its current location. Reality. The rocks beneath the Sahara have traveled thousands of miles and may remember when this was ocean floor. Plate tectonics means continents drift. The African continent itself has rotated, collided with other landmasses, and shifted position over hundreds of millions of years. The Sahara has been in different latitudes, different climates, different configurations. 300 million years ago, the rocks now under the Sahara were part of the supercontinent Pangaea, connected to what would become North America and Europe. When Pangaea broke apart, the continents drifted, and this region found itself in North Africa. But here's what's truly strange. Parts of the Sahara contain marine fossils from ancient oceans, whale ancestors, sea lilies, and ammonites. This land was underwater, part of the Tethys Sea that once separated Africa and Eurasia. The Sahara has been ocean floor. It's been tropical forest. It's been savanna. It's been ice age tundra. It's been everything except what it is now for most of geological history. And it's still moving. The African continent is being pulled apart by the East African Rift, a tectonic process that's slowly splitting the continent. In millions of years, East Africa might be a separate landmass, and the Sahara might look nothing like it does today. The desert reminds us that solid ground isn't solid. Continents are just rafts floating on molten rock, constantly moving, constantly changing. Nothing is permanent, not even the placement of continents. Myth number 8. Desert people are primitive. The myth. Nomadic desert peoples are primitive survivors clinging to ancient ways. Reality. Desert cultures represent some of humanity's most sophisticated environmental adaptations, and they know things science is only now discovering. The Tuareg people have navigated the Sahara for over 2,000 years using techniques that seem impossible. They can determine direction by the angle of sand dunes, find water by reading animal behavior, and predict weather by observing stars. The Bedouin developed clothing and architecture perfectly adapted to extreme heat, loose, layered garments that create airflow while protecting from sun, and tent designs that maximize ventilation while providing shade. Desert peoples discovered that traveling at night and resting during day isn't primitive, it's thermodynamically optimal. They understood heat exchange, evaporative cooling, and circadian rhythm optimization centuries before Western science formalized these concepts. The knowledge required to survive in the Sahara isn't simple, it's incredibly complex. It includes botany, which rare plants indicate water, astronomy, navigation by stars, meteorology, reading weather in ways satellites now confirm, biology, animal behavior patterns, and geology, where to dig for water. This knowledge is being lost. As younger generations move to cities, entire libraries of environmental understanding disappear. Scientists are racing to document indigenous knowledge before it vanishes, and repeatedly discovering that traditional practices are scientifically sound. The myth of primitive desert peoples reveals our own bias. We equate technological complexity with intelligence, but intelligence is solving problems with available resources. By that measure, desert nomads who thrive in inhabitable environments might be more intelligent than city dwellers who die without infrastructure. Myth number 9. The Sahara is expanding. Myth. The Sahara is growing larger every year, consuming farmland and threatening civilizations. Reality. It's complicated, and the truth involves both natural cycles and human activity. The Sahara does expand and contract on annual and decadal cycles. During dry years, the southern edge pushes into the Sahel region. During wet years, it retreats. This is normal climate variability. But long-term data shows human factors are accelerating desertification in border regions. Overgrazing removes vegetation that holds soil. Deforestation eliminates trees that maintain moisture cycles. Poor agricultural practices deplete soil nutrients. The counterintuitive truth: climate change might actually be greening parts of the Sahara. Increased CO2 levels can boost plant growth in marginal areas. Some satellite data shows vegetation increasing at the desert edges. But before you celebrate, this greening is unpredictable and doesn't offset the catastrophic changes happening to rainfall patterns, temperature extremes, and water availability. The Sahara might be getting patchy green zones while simultaneously becoming more hostile to human habitation. The real lesson: the Sahara is a dynamic system, not a static desert. It breathes, expanding and contracting on timescales from years to millennia. Human activity is now influencing these natural rhythms in ways we don't fully understand. We're running an uncontrolled experiment on Earth's climate systems. The Sahara is one of the laboratories where we'll discover the results, whether we're ready for them or not. Myth number 10. There's nothing left to discover. Myth. We've mapped the Sahara. There are no more surprises. Reality. We're discovering new things in the Sahara constantly, including entire rivers we never knew existed. In 2015, radar satellite imagery revealed massive ancient river systems buried under the sand. Channels larger than the Nile, dating back to when the Green Sahara was thriving. We'd been looking at this region for centuries and never knew these rivers existed. In 2020, archaeologists discovered 800 plus new rock art sites using drones and AI, ancient artwork that had been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. Ground-penetrating radar keeps finding buried structures, ancient lakes, fossil water aquifers, and geological features we never suspected. The sand is a blanket hiding entire landscapes. And there's still the possibility of meteorite impacts. The Sahara is one of the best places on Earth to find meteorites. The dry climate preserves them, and the lack of vegetation makes them visible. Scientists estimate hundreds of thousands of meteorites are waiting to be found, each one a messenger from space, carrying information about the solar system's formation. Some of these meteorites might contain amino acids or organic compounds, building blocks of life from other worlds. The Sahara could be hiding evidence of panspermia, proof that life's ingredients are scattered throughout the cosmos. The desert isn't empty. It's a time capsule, an archaeological goldmine, and a scientific frontier all at once. The Sahara isn't what we think it is. It's not eternal. It's temporary. It's not dead. It's teeming with impossible life. It's not empty. It's hiding civilizations, rivers, forests, and secrets we've only begun to uncover. These 10 myths reveal a pattern. The Sahara constantly defies our expectations. What we assume is permanent is transient. What we think is simple is complex. What we believe is known is mysterious. The desert teaches us that Earth's landscapes are fluid. The Sahara was green. It will be green again. The forests might become deserts. The deserts might bloom. Nothing stays the same, not even the eternal sands. And that's the cosmic connection. Earth is a living, breathing, changing planet. The Sahara is just one example of how dynamic our world really is. If our own planet can transform so dramatically, what might be changing on other worlds? What deserts elsewhere in the universe were once oceans? What frozen moons might become warm oases? The Sahara is Earth's reminder that change is the only constant. Civilizations rise and fall. Landscapes transform. Permanence is an illusion. But the stories remain. The rock art endures. The knowledge survives. As long as someone remembers, the Green Sahara isn't gone. It's just waiting. If you want to explore more planetary mysteries, from Earth's hidden transformations to cosmic connections, subscribe to Myths of the Cosmos. Because the greatest mysteries aren't always in distant space. Sometimes they're hiding beneath our feet, buried in sand, waiting for us to look closer. The Sahara has kept secrets for millions of years. Let's keep uncovering them.